yesterday, and of course, Canada is defending um, Olympic champions. The USA women are defending World Cup champions, and they met in the last four times. One team has been shut out by the other, and the teams have just been going back and forth, back and forth. But what a great game it was! I had to watch the highlights today because last night was, of course, the Olympics. Excuse me, the Major League All Star game. So I watched that, and then of course I watched the captain, which we're going to go into detail about the documentary about Derek Jeter and his time at the Yankees. Of course, last night was just number one, kind of giving everybody the background of where Derek started, how he got to the Yankees, all the stuff that happened. And there's some interesting stuff in there that you have to kind of be older to really realize how things were done back then compared to the way they are now. So, that being said, but a great game by the USA women. Of course, I just watched it, and I just love watching the girls. I love seeing what they did or watching them play, and we've got some veterans, and then of course, we've got the standouts or the standards, the old school, if that's what you want to call them, the old girls, the old guard. That sounds terrible. The old guard. That sounds really bad when I say it that way. But anyway, we have the old guard playing, and I want to say that it was a great game. And of course, uh, Alex Morgan having the gold, the game winner on a penalty kick. She made a great pass to Rose Lavelle, and Rose was clipped in the penalty box. And if you know about soccer, you know that that was an automatic penalty for the USA women's team. And of course, Alex, and it was ironic, the goalie of the Canada team and Alex play together on clubs or on the same team as far as a professional team. And of course, I'm sure they've gone against each other many times. She knew all of Alex's tendencies, and Alex knew that she knew, and she faked out thinking she was going to go to the left corner, but of course she went right and crossed her over, and the USA held on to win 1-0. But going back and watching the highlights on YouTube, what a great game it was, watching them going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Really loved what I saw right there, and I'm excited about the upcoming. And remember, we've already qualified for that, so qualified for the Women's Cup next year. So anyway, it was nice winning, and this is our ninth time winning the CONCACAF. I'm gonna have to figure out exactly how to say that, the way that works out. But it was our ninth time winning the championship for that. So anyway, I was excited for the women. Congratulations to our USA women's national soccer team for their 1-0 victory and the championship. And so anyway, I'm excited about that. But like I said, what a great game it was. Now, getting to the All-Star game. Of course, the All-Star game is tonight. The Major League All-Star game is tonight. And last night was the home run derby, which is why I did not watch the women's why I did not watch the women's soccer match last night. And it was some good deals, and Ramirez versus Soto was a great deal. And just watching them go back and forth, watching them go back and forth. I loved what I saw. And Rodriguez and Soto were in the finals together. And of course, Pujols beat Zurcherberg, Soho beat Ramirez, and then Soho beat Pujols, and then Alonso won his first one. And then Rodriguez was just insane in his victory over Alonso, hitting 34 or whatever. It was something stupid, 28, whatever it was. It was something stupid. I don't remember now off the top of my head, but he was just ridiculous. And of course, he came out and lost in the finals to Soto, only hitting 18 in that final round. And of course, Soto got the extra 30 seconds because if you hit a 450 plus foot home run, you get an extra. I guess you get a couple of them. You get 30 seconds extra, and of course, Soto needed that in order to win the home run derby, which of course was the first time that two guys under the age of 23 were in the finals against each other. So that being said, the home run derby was good, lasted a little long, but of course tonight is the All-Star game itself. Will be played at Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, one of the most beautiful places to watch a baseball game, and that's going to be nice. And of course, Clayton Kershaw will be going, the home Dodger boy, at his first start at home. So that'll be interesting. He should have his normal routines down on what he's going to do and how that's going to happen. And our boy Drew is not going to make it today, so that gives me the opportunity to slide in there and give you his pick. And of course, he's picking the National League All Stars, the money line plus 115, and then he's taking the under at 7.5 in the game itself, and that he's taking All Stars money line minus 115, and then of course he's taking the under at 7.5. So that ought to be interesting. I'm looking forward to watching the game tonight. I've got to go hook up with my boy Mike Deba tonight. His girlfriend, his friend Polly. We're going to go hang out tonight and have some dinner. Since I missed him last night, we did not go to my boy Greg Nafee's dinner, which first time in forever, which I'm assuming we'll probably do that when Deba gets back from Atlanta. We'll have to get together and do our annual dinner because we've already done Deba's. And then it's Greg's turn now. And then, of course, last but not least, mine is in October for the OU Texas weekend. My birthday comes actually after that, but my birthday is usually OU Texas weekend every year, which is a fantastic time to go to Dallas, and I've done that for the last 20 plus whatever years that I get to go down there. But I will say that I am excited about the All-Star game. I'm going to watch it. The only time I really watch baseball is the All-Star game usually, and I usually turn it on towards the end. I don't usually watch it in the beginning, which is kind of terrible of me, but I'm just, baseball is just so slow for me. If they could speed it up in some kind of way, it might make it more interesting for me and a lot of other people to watch, but the way that they do it, it just takes too long. Now, if I'm at a game, man, I'm all about it. I can sit there and I can have my beers and I can have my Dodger dogs, and I can watch the game, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And I can do that with no problem, no issues whatsoever. And I can do that really, 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 really easily. But to sit there and watch it on TV, it's like some people cannot watch golf on TV. They can go watch it in person, but they cannot watch golf on TV. I can watch it either way and be into it simply because I play. So with baseball, it's the same thing. If you're a baseball player, you can watch it on TV or in the stands versus me. If it's not the All-Star game or if it's not the World Series and it's not two teams I clearly want to see, then I will. It's just like baseball or football or basketball. If there's two people and two guys in the Super Bowl that I don't really care about, I won't watch. It's like the Rams and Cincinnati. I did not really watch it. I watched the last quarter of the game, which was the best part of it, and that's all I watched. It was two teams I really didn't care to watch either way. It's irrelevant to me who won. So I did not watch it. In the NBA, obviously I clearly had to watch it because I was doing the show now, and so I had to watch it. And in the future, any show, any deal, I'll have to watch the thing tonight because I have to report on it tomorrow. I'm going to have to watch the World Series because I have to report on it every day or every day that it's not on. I have to watch the Super Bowl no matter what because, once again, I'll be doing the Unpopular Hour, so I'll have to watch it and report on it. So regardless of what the situation is nowadays, my ability to choose has gone away because if I'm going to do this, I want to be able to give you an accurate report of what I saw and what I thought based on what I seen versus just going over highlights. Kind of like USA women's soccer. All I know is that, Alex kicked the ball in, Roosevelt got tripped. Alex had to get the goal, but I did not watch it. Now, it was great just kind of watching the highlights, but it's not the same as every dude, why they're making a kick, why it didn't go in. You're just in the moment. It's completely different, so I'm going to enjoy doing that. So that being said, I want to take this opportunity to thank where I'm at. I'm at George's Happy Hog over here at 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln, south of the Capitol, and north of OU Medical Center. So great place to eat if you like barbecue. I highly recommend it. There's been several people who have never heard of it before, have been in here, and they absolutely adore and love this place and have come back over and over and over and have told me, thanks, Matt, for recommending it, and we really do appreciate it. So anyway, I want to thank these guys for letting me come by and set up here, and then I want to, of course, thank YNB, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen, because without them, we wouldn't be able to come out and do these remotes. So I want to thank them for supporting black, minority, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. If you have any needs for any loans, you can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok. That's www.ynbok.com. If you want to get car loan, or if you want to refinance or anything like that, these are the people that you want to go see. So I want to thank them. And of course, Collaborative Logic, if you have any IT needs, they can remote in. You don't have to worry about it. And they can take care of any of your needs like that. And then, of course, my guy Mark Long over at SRB with engineering, surveying, and planning. And we've had interesting discussions, which we'll talk about later, about the Thunder and where they're going to put their new locations. I have some now arguments that I did not have for him the other day. So I'm going to respond to him with that, and then I'm going to hear what he has to say, and I'll let you know what he thinks about my response and then how he responds back. And, of course, Oak Grove Trucking and his dump trucks, because he says he's down to two. One's broken down now, so he's down to dump duck. I told him, I said, Jose, it doesn't sound as good as dump dunk versus dump trucks. So anyway, I'm not happy about that with my boy, but it is what it is with him. He's got to do what he's got to do. And, of course, I said happy birthday to my boy Greg Nafee at NAFCO, and his birthday was yesterday. Looks like he had a good time. Looks like he went to Michael's Grill, one of my favorite places, which I said yesterday. It's either going to be Michael's Grill or the Ranch, his two favorite places to go eat. It looks like he had a fantastic time last night. I'm a little jealous because Michael's Grill is my favorite place in Oklahoma City to eat at a restaurant, high-end, definitely my favorite place. Their Caesar salad is just unbelievable. And then their lobster mac and cheese, which, of course, is one of my favorite meals to go to eat at. And, and of course, the Capitol Grill, which is where I started eating at years and years ago in Houston, is where I got hooked on lobster mac and cheese. And Michael's Grill has, their lobster mac is delicious, and it definitely rivals the Capitol Grill, which to me was the original place that I ever seen lobster mac, and then, of course, everybody else is following suit, because if you've eaten at high-end restaurants, you know exactly what I'm talking about and how that translates and transpires. But that being said, I want to talk a little bit about, during the game last night, the reason why I said I didn't watch the soccer is because of the All-Star game, and then right after that, the captain came on. And, of course, Derek Jeter, of course, would have been the second player in history to be named unanimous vote getter into the Hall of Fame. One person did not give him a vote, and then wasn't even brave enough to say why. I mean, really? Clearly, you're a Red Sox fan or you're a racist, one or the other. You're against, an interracial child, or you're just a flat-out hater of the Yankees or hater of Derek Jeter because he was a Yankee, not a Red Sox. And to me, regardless of how I feel about somebody personally, I'm going to give them their due on the field, whether that's baseball, whether that's football, whether it's basketball. Everybody knows I don't really like James Harden as a person. I don't really like Russell Westbrook that much as a person. But as an athlete, I'm going to give them their due when they do what they do, and I'm going to give them the hard time when they don't do what they do. So, and to me, when you're a person of power that has a chance to give somebody their due, you don't take away because you personally don't like them or you personally you have an grievance against them. That's irrelevant to what you're voting on. They put you in a place where your integrity counts. Your integrity should mean something. That's why you're in the position that you're in. That's why you have the chance to vote. And because of that, you did not put him in one person. You're trash. And it's just like, Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens had to wait. Come on now. I don't like Terrell Owens. I don't like the antics. I don't like a lot of stuff he did. But on the football field, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. And we had this discussion yesterday, Drew and I, about Russell. Whether he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He probably is going to be, personally. That's part of my thing. To me, he definitely is. Whether he rates the level of a first ballot because of how he did his triple doubles and the way he went about it, I don't really like that. So, I have to give him. That's why I said I would vote him on the second, but he definitely is one. But because of the way he did it, I don't really like that, and because he wasn't, to me, first ballots are guys who just were outstanding offensively, defensively, what they did in the game and all that. And other than Russell doing triple doubles, I don't really see how he could be a first ballot. But of course, he will be. But once again, I would say if I was a ballot, I would say no, I'm not voting him, and this is why. Now, because of how I feel about him, that watermelon sweet tea is so good. Anyway, not by how I feel about him as a person, but how he played. And I'm only judging how he played. It's just like Derek Jeter. Last night, the captain came on, the first of the series of his documentaries. And it was last night at 9 o'clock after it came on a little bit late. I think it was like 9:40, 9:30 something when he actually came on because he came on directly after the home run derby. But anyway, the captain heard the episodes that is coming on last night, of course. This Thursday will be episode 2, 8 o'clock. Now, these are Central Time. These are our local Oklahoma City times. It'll be on 8 o'clock this coming Thursday. The following Thursday, they'll have episodes 3 and 4 at 8 and 9 o'clock. The next Thursday, August 4th, they'll have 5 and 6 at 8 and 9. And then, of course, episode 7, the final installment on the 11th. And I'm just going to say this. I got a chance to watch it, I watched it, and my analysis is it was just the start of his career. And it's funny because he was telling people don't call, at the house at certain times because the draft was going to be on. And back then, if you didn't have call waiting, if you were on the phone, you got a busy signal. So he wanted to make sure that he was going to go between first and fifth picks. So he was going to first and fifth picks. So he knew he was going to be called. And if you call back then, there's no way for them to get in touch with you. They'd have to keep calling back because your phone line would be busy. And then, of course, call waiting happened. And then, of course, cell phones happened. And you have all this stuff and people in your house, shooting, videoing you and all of that. And I don't know if y'all saw the Thurman Thomas documentary that they had the other day, or I guess it's, what is it, the Sports Century or whatever it is with Thurman Thomas on the NFL. Saw that, and he was sitting there until they finally came and drafted him. And it was just sad watching Thurman falling asleep and all things. And he deserved, and it's so funny, all the guys in front of him, none of them did, had decent careers, but he was in the Hall of Fame. He was in the Hall of Fame. It's funny how that works. But anyway, I'm venturing off speaking, running my mouth. But anyway, the Derek Jeter thing, he's sitting there waiting. He finally gets called number 6. And he doesn't even know what the Yankees were picking because he assumed he was going to go 1 through 5. And it's so funny is the guy who was in charge of the Astros, they had the first pick. And they picked Phil Nevin, whoever that is. And it's so funny is the guy who was in charge of it resigned after that. It's like, how do you not take Jeter? Can you imagine what Jeter would have done, what he could have done for the Astros, or what he might not have done for the Astros? Who knows? But the biggest thing for the Yankees, and in fact, that's what I love about this documentary. This is what I hated, kind of like Jordan, the first one to give you. You have to develop a base, and the base was here's Jeter. This is what's happening. He's getting drafted. Steinbrenner got booted for 2.5 years because he was trying to get. Steinbrenner, the stuff that he was pulling back then, because he was trying to get a Dave Winfield, so he got with this gambler, gave him $40,000 to turn on all of this dirt on him, on Winfield, and he got suspended for 2 years. Best thing in the world that happened to Yankees, because the guy that took over was all about, let me get this guy. So he got Posada. He got everybody that the Yankees had, Rivera, Jeter. He drafted all these guys that grew up together. And so now all of a sudden, you've got a good core group, which was their core 4. that got him 4 straight championships, and they all came together that year. And it's so funny is I forgot all about this, but in the '94, the Yankees were on a roll. They were rolling, and of course the baseball strike happened. And if you remember, Jordan was playing baseball at that time, and the reason why he didn't continue to play is because baseball went into a strike. Then he started playing back in the NFL and the NBA, and that's how he got back into the league was because of this baseball strike. And it's so funny is the Yankees probably won that year, and I know your guys don't probably. And I forgot about Tito Martinez, how great of a player that he was, and that he played for Seattle and what they did, and Griffey back then. You just think about all those guys back then. But it's so funny watching the Yankees and watching all the stuff that happened. Then, of course, '95 strike happens. '94, '95, the Yankees now come back. And then, of course, after that, Jeter's just rolling after a rocky start. But it was a way. I'm just rambling on right now. But anyway, go watch The Captain. Once again, it's going to be on this Thursday. I believe what is it, 8 o'clock? Let me go back and check that just to make sure. This Thursday at 8 o'clock, yes, Central Time. Watch part 2. I know I'm going to be interested to watch part 2 just to see what he does in the second part of it. Because, the thing like I said, that I hate about these deals is when you do that first part of it, it's just kind of like you got to give all the background, which you're like, oh, I want more, and then it cuts you off just when everything's about to start. They cut you off. That's the thing I hate about docuseries. I love them, but that's the thing I hate about them because you got to build all this background. It's kind of boring, but I will say that the one thing I was interested in, or that I remember, as far as the interracial dating and what was happening back then, which, of course, people nowadays have no clue about. It's just everybody does whatever they want. And the thing that his mom and dad had to go through and Derek had to go through back then, it's just so funny now that people have no clue what that meant and what they have to do, what they had to do. So, that being said, once again, I'm here at Georgia's Happy Hog, 712 Culbertson Drive. And if you know where it's at, when you're coming up Lincoln, if you know where the Homestead is, directly across the street, it's Culbertson Drive. And so it's right, it's south of the state capitol on Lincoln and north of OU Medical Center on Lincoln. They have great deals. They have Happy Hog dinners where you can buy 1 and 2 and 3. You can buy regular lunch. You can buy 2-meat combo, 3-meat combo. You have family meals that you can buy. You can buy it by the pound. Now, usually I get a half pound of links, either a chicken or a half pound of chopped beef or sliced beef, or a half pound of smoked bologna, which is their smoked bologna is just absolutely delicious. It rivals Jamil's. And if you've been to Jamil's, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Their smoked bologna sandwiches are just absolutely fantastic. So anyway, 712 Culbertson Drive. You can call in, come pick it up. They carry out, dine in, cater, whatever you need. They're great for all that. And, of course, if it wasn't for these guys, I would not be doing it. So I want to thank YNB, family operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen, for their sponsorship of minority, black, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. So I want to thank them for allowing us to do that. And if you want to go online and pre-qualify, please do at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com if you want anything with that. Those are the people, and we appreciate them for their help in making sure that that we get everything going here. So that being said, I want to say this. Every year I do the OU OSU Celebrity Waiters Dinner. And it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's basically a fundraiser. And what we do is, you get your friends to come in, and the more friends come in, you can get, and you fight for who's going to get the biggest donation. And of course, they do have some prizes and raffles and giveaways. But it's at Hideaway Pizza this Thursday night, July 21st. And it's a fun deal. And they get a percentage of your tab, plus they get 100% of your tips. And remember, anything you donate is It's all 100% foundation. You get to write everything off, and it supports upward transitions. And what upward transitions is an organization that help the homeless. Now there are people who are homeless because they're just homeless. They just don't care, whatever. And then there was the people that lost their jobs, they lost whatever. They had to move in these homeless shelters with their families. They now have jobs. But the biggest thing about having a job or trying to get out of homelessness is, or you're trying to move, as you know, is you got to pay all your deposits. You got to pay, your electric deposit, your water deposit, your gas deposit. You got to pay all these deposits plus the first month's rent. And what Upward Transitions does, they allow, they pay for these so that people can, so that you can get out of homelessness. That's one of the reasons why I support them. I like the fact that what they do is, here's this family, and his family's working. They don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be in a shelter. They want to be productive citizens, tax-paying citizens. But they can't afford. I mean, you're making X number of dollars. You still got to pay all this. But it takes you a long time to try to save up the money to pay the first month rent and deposit, plus your gas, water, and electricity deposits. So they come out and go, boom, here are the deposits. You guys can get out, be productive once again in society. They're not those people who you see on the corners trying to get money for doing absolutely nothing. They just want to get money from you. So Upward Transitions, I've been doing this for, God, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years now, every year, and I just absolutely love it. Anything that I could do to help people out, because I was told a long time ago by my dad, to whom much is given, much is required. So you should be able to get out there, and if you are successful and you are doing things, hey, you should give back as much as you can. Help the people out who aren't as fortunate as you. Try to make sure you can make somebody else smile. You can make somebody else's lives better. Why would you not want to do that? Why would you not want to help someone else out? I'm a big proponent of going out and doing what I can to make sure that I can help somebody else smile. That's what I do with kids, because there's nothing like having a kid go from his back being bent to him being back, his back being straight, him having the confidence to go out, and whether that's continue to play basketball or football or baseball or soccer or whatever it is other than basketball is irrelevant to me. It's about you getting the confidence in yourself, the belief in yourself that you can do anything that there is in life. I've got kids that played for me growing up, and they went off and they got football scholarships. They've got baseball scholarships. They even play basketball. Got kids who play basketball as well. Because to me, it's not about, what I teach you is about life. What I teach you is about helping you understand what you need to do outside of basketball. Because I told people all day long, basketball is what I did, it's not who I am. And a lot of these athletes, their biggest issue is sports is who they are. Sports is not who I am, it's just what I did. I don't go and brag on myself all the time. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he goes, well, man, tell me about yourself. I go, I coach kids or this. He goes, no, about I said, man, I don't talk about my basketball stuff. I don't do that. I don't need to. It's not what I do. I said, basketball, sports is what I did, it's not who I am. It never was who I was. It's just what I did. And I don't need, confirmation from people. But I said, man, I don't need all that nonsense. If you want to know about me, go look at my records. If you want to know about me, go read the paper. If you want to know about me, this is where stuff is. I don't need the recognition for me to brag on myself to get something. Someone was talking to me the other day about how I got I'm now into the final stage of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame or whatever. I said, man, you know what? I appreciate those guys over there. I thank them for even having me on the list. I'm humble. Thank you. I appreciate all that. But, bro, that doesn't, whether I get in or I don't get in is irrelevant to me as far as that of me as a person. It does not validate me. It validates what I did sports-wise, but it does not validate me as a person. Accolades does not validate you as a person, and if you think accolades validate you as a person, then you have some issues that you need to deal with on your own. So that being said, I want, if you guys come out this weekend on Thursday, and by the way, Randy Wright, I am not delivering, so do not send me a text like you do every year. I'm not delivering out to UConn. I'm not bringing you hideaway pizza to UConn. So Randy Wright, do not text me and ask me. I don't even know why I'm telling you this, because I say this every year and you text me anyway and ask me to bring you something to eat and deliver it, and I'm not doing that. We do not deliver. You have to dine in. You can come in and carry out, but remember, just mention Upward Transitions, and they will get a percentage of that tab, but 100% of the tips. And of course, you can donate. And I had some great people come out last year and I've had over the past years actually, and I've had some great people come out and support me and support Upward Transitions and me trying to help me win the tips battle. So hopefully I can get some more people come out. Same people came out last year. Hope you guys come back out this year. It's a fun deal. Of course, people love to irritate me, and I don't know why I'm such a nice, sweet, innocent person. I don't know why people have to try to talk trash to me all the time. I never talk trash to women. I never talk trash to people. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I couldn't say that with a straight face. I'm going to have to hurry up in this show so I can give me some more watermelon sweet tea. But anyway, this Thursday, 5:30 to 8:30, Hideaway Pizza in Automobile Alley downtown. Come out and support these guys in Upward Transition. It will be a fun time, I promise you. Everybody who comes out always enjoys themselves and just has an absolute fantastic time, and it is definitely worth that. So that being said, it's a good time to take a break. I want to thank my sponsors over at Collaborative Logic and my guy, Russell Wilford, over there. If you have any IT needs for your networks as far as computers, setting up your network, how to get better, and any information to grow your business, he is the guy for that over at Collaborative Logic. Anything you need to do as far as engineering, surveying, or planning, talk to my guy, Mark Long, over at SRB. And if you have any trucking needs, my guy, Jose Fierro, with his dump trucks at Oak Grove. And I told Jose, I don't like the way that, it just doesn't roll off my tongue the same way. Boy, hurry up, get that truck fixed so I can say dump trucks. And then I want you to add a dump truck for your force so you can keep going. But anyway, got any needs that you need for him, hit my boy Jose up at Oak Grove Trucking. Then, of course, Greg and Max Nafee over at Nafco. I want to wish Greg another happy birthday. I already did that yesterday on air. Sent him a nice photo of me, Mike, Deba, and him. We do it every year. So we got to figure that out when we can have dinner together as a group, which we always do. So I think Mike's going out of town, I think, this week. So we'll probably have to do that next week and get all of our stuff caught up with the three of us. Now, I had some interesting people we were talking about. Let's just go into the NBA news. Let's go ahead and do that. Then I'll jump into my final subject about the Thunder. But here are the 6 top remaining free agents. We have LaMarcus Aldridge for the Nets, Carmelo Anthony from the Lakers, James Harden for the Sixers. Now, the interesting point on James did not take his $47 million option. What James did, James said, hey, listen, we need to get better. So instead of me taking my $47 million, what I'm going to do is just go ahead, sign some people, get us better, and then whatever you have left over, go ahead and give me that. Now, of course, Mr. Westbrook did not do that. He took all of his money. He did not want to miss one single dime because he knows this is the last paycheck that he will ever get that of this size. So he took advantage of it and took as much money as he can. Was not going to take any kind of break. Neither did LeBron nor AD to make sure the Lakers got better. So that tells you a little bit about those three and what they're about. So, but anyway, James Harden, not a fan of his, like I've said, but my kudos go off to him, not taking that $47 million, telling them let's go out. And, of course, they did get better right away. They ended up getting P.J. Tucker and signing him to a contract. So they are using that money. And then James said whatever's left over after you get us better, give that money to me. Montrezl Harrell from the Hornets. He's only 28, even though he looks older and seems like he's been around a lot longer. At average 13 points a game. Still, that's shocking that he's still available. I would think somebody who's physical like Montrez would already have either been re-signed by the Hornets or gotten some way. And Dennis Schroeder, I just really feel sorry for him. You know, he did not sign his contract with the Lakers for the $24 million. He thought he was worth more than that. And Dennis, now He ended up selling with the Lakers for what was it, for $7 million for the Celtics, and then got traded to the Rockets, and now he's a free agent again. And he could have been with the Lakers, but he wanted more money. He thought he was worth more than that. And once again, these athletes who think too much of themselves end up with less than that or nothing. And he's another one of those guys who have fallen into, I deserve more, I'm worth more. And when it comes down to it, they're worth less. Colin Sexton of the Cavaliers averaged 16 points a game, and he's a restricted free agent. So he's like Ayton, DeAndre Ayton from the Suns. So he went out and he was a free agent. He was unrestricted, signed a deal for with the Indiana Pacers, and then of course the Suns came back and met that 4-year, $133 million. And Colin Sexton, I think, will end up being back with the young Cavaliers. They've got a great team. I love what they're doing thus far with that. And so that's going to be interesting to see how that works and how that ends up being with them. So, but anyway, that's it's just interesting to me how some of these guys, they don't know their worth. I mean, it's like, dude, this is what's happening out here. Here's what you're worth. Take this money and run. Now, I partly blame Dennis, and I partly blame his agent, because his agent should have been out there saying, hey, what's available? What am I worth? What is my guy? Should we do this? What can we get from you guys? Now, maybe he was doing that, and they were telling him something other than what actually happened, or he just went ahead and Dennis just said, hey, I know I'm worth more than this. But to me, take the money. When they offer you the money, take the money and run. Take the money and run, whatever they offer you. And it's like the Thunder, that they declined Lucas Dort's option and turned around and gave him money. Same thing to do it now. The Thunder, what they did just now is the Thunder comes back, and what did the Thunder do? They signed Kendrick Williams to 4-year, $27 million extension. A little over $6 million a year. Why? Because the Thunder's so far under the salary cap that they have to do some things and sign these players. Now, what we're going to do on Thursday, and we'll go into a little bit more tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday, we'll go into it a little bit more. But on Thursday, after the storm, we're going to go into full detail about a lot of this stuff with the Thunder and why they're doing what they're doing, how far under the salary cap they are, and what they need to do and why they're signing these guys. Because, once we break it down, and I'm going to go over it a little bit today, but I'm going to get down in detail with it more tomorrow, a little bit more tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'm just going to break it all the way down because it's Thunder Thursday, and after the storm we're going to break down all of this information. So that being said, we're going to talk about the Thunder Arena. Now it's interesting because I have the 4 pictures up here. The one on the left is when we first built Paycon, which of course wasn't anything, and then the Ford Center was renamed the Ford Center. And when you look at it, this is the view from the Cox Convention Center going back south on the east side. Now you see that bridge back there, that's the old I-40 highway. Okay, of course that's no longer there. Then of course right there where all that dirt is, there's a parking garage, and just to the left of that, there's the hotel there. So, but it's funny when you look back at the skyline, it looks nothing like this anymore. I mean, absolutely nothing like this when you go back. And I like to look at stuff like this because now you turn around and you see it now and it looks absolutely nothing. But our arena, this was back in 2002. And you can see that it's still a great facility, but seating-wise inside, it's the right size at 18,000. Was it 364, I believe, is what the Thunder, I have it written down exactly, what the Thunder, we seat 18,203, and we're 581,000 total square feet for the Thunder facility. So that, and then on the right side, this is one of the most interesting things. I saw this. This is something that I absolutely had to post because I think it's so interesting, is that this is Milwaukee. The arena, all three of their arenas. The one they originally started in on the far left, which is now the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, whatever, that's their arena now. The one in the middle is the one that they currently play in, and then on the one on the right is the one that they're now building. So I'm assuming that the one on the left will go away, and the one in the middle, which is now the current home of the Milwaukee Bucks, that will be the new arena for the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee, whatever they are. I'm assuming that's going to be it. But isn't that interesting that you see the beginning of Milwaukee Bucks, the current status of the Milwaukee Bucks, and the future of the Milwaukee Bucks? And you can see that how each stadium, each facility got bigger and bigger and bigger. And all the things that they're going to be able to do in their practice facilities, all of that stuff will be housed in the arena. And then, of course, on the bottom left is the Chase Center, and which is the newest of all the facilities. Now, the one on the right, we'll talk about it in a minute because it's not opened yet, and it will in 2024. But the one on the left is the Chase Center. Now, this is my argument to my boy Mark Long. Across the street over here in the top, if you're looking at the Paycom Center, is taken from the roof of the Cox Convention Center. The Cox Convention Center is 4 city blocks. Okay. The Chase Center is 4 city blocks. It has restaurants and bars. It has a 74 by 42 inch screen on the outside where they have Thrive City, which is what they call their, our Thunder Alley is their Thrive City where, and if you'll look at the picture of here of the Cox Convention Center, that whole side there that we're looking at to the right of where all the people are, they have a big screen up there, and that street was Thunder Alley where all the people would come and they could watch the games and watch stuff on the screen there. And of course, I just did this because of the way that it looked in the very beginning, showing that. But at the bottom of the Chase Center, which is J.P. Morgan. But anyway, Thrive City's down there. They have a park that you can see that's under construction right by the river. They're going to have a construction. Now, that has nothing to do with them. They're going to use it, but that's the city doing that. But anyway, they have a 74 by 20, they have a 74 by 42-foot screen, which is amazing. And, of course, they have the largest LED scoreboard. They only hold 18,064. So I misspoke yesterday when I was talking about the Thunder needing a bigger facility that will smaller. I should say the arena itself needs to be larger at 581,000 square feet. It needs to be larger, not the arena as far as seating, because we do have 18,203, whereas Golden State only has 18,064. Now, they do have skyboxes on every level. They have a floor level or a lower level skybox or suites. Then they have the club level suites, and then they have the 4-person suites up in the 300 level. So that's what the Chase Center has, but of course it's 900 square feet versus 581,000 square feet, 900,000 square feet. So you can see it's almost double the size of what we have and all the things they have in it with the 2 practice gyms and stuff like that, which would be great for the Thunder to do. But of course we do have our own practice facility out on Britton Road out there then. Now, last but not least is the new Intuit Center, Intuit Dome is what it's called, which is where the Clippers will play. And remember that the owner of the Clippers Steve Ballmer bought the old Forum, which was where the Lakers originally started at in Inglewood. And then he's completely transformed that and spent $1.8 billion. Now, I don't feel sorry for the man because he still has 18, 20 billion or whatever he has left. So we're not feeling sorry for Steve Ballmer at all because he has tons of money. And if he wants to spend a couple billion, he already spent a couple billion for the team. Now he's spending a couple billion for this facility to make it one of the best in the NBA. And it is the newest, and it is flashy. So, in other words, what we're looking at, Thunder people, we're looking at $1 billion, 1.4-ish, because I believe it was 1.4 for the Chase Center. So that's basically what you're looking at, except the difference is the Chase Center and the Intuit, they're paid for by the owners of the team themselves. And they all did that themselves to make the facilities whatever they wanted to make them. I don't think the Thunder's going to do that. I think they're going to be more like Milwaukee. And you're going to have to come out and get some money. Now, what's interesting is that I don't know if you've been to the new convention center by the Omni Hotel, but it took 12 years after we approved the money to build that for that to actually come to fruition and get built. It was 9 years or 7 years from the time that the money was passed for the now Paycom Center before it was built. Now, clearly, if we go ahead and do this, the Thunders have extended, their contract ended in 2023. They put up the last 3 years after that, so they will run through 2026. So something has to get done for them knowing, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to be here for a while. But these facilities were from scratch, start to finish, were 4 years. So I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can raise the money now. Remember, we still have $70 million left in the budget left over from MAPS to do something with the Thunder facility. So it's not like we're broke or we're hurting for money or anything like that. So we do have money left over there. We're going to redo some stuff, add a bar up in the 300 level, redo the elevator so you can go all the way up there. There are some things that we're going to do to make it more nicer inside the facility to upgrade the center. But clearly, I think we need a new facility to match what's going on around the league. And I mean, when you look at Milwaukee, that's a perfect example. This is where we started. As we started growing, making it more attractive, because Milwaukee's like Oklahoma City. It's not necessarily a greatest, style for people to make, but you get your one guy, like a Giannis. We had a Kevin Durant that you can get there and you can win and get you to another level. Of course, the Thunder are clearly looking for another Kevin Durant or the Giannis or something like that they can draft, that we can get, that we know is going to be a player 3 to 4 years now that's going to make us be what they want. And the Thunder have decided that that's Chet Holmgren that's going to get us there. I do not believe that, but you just got to believe in Sam Presti and what he's doing and be behind the Thunder. But I am fully behind this right here, getting rid of this now. Across the street, I say that we do what they did at the Chase Center, and you go ahead and you do, you take down the Cox Convention Center, or Prairie, whatever it is, take that down. The garage is, if you've been in the lower level, because we always park underneath there, and then we walk across the street to the Paycom Center. So to me, it's like, get rid of it, tear it all down. That gives you 4 city blocks. You can do, instead of having a Thunder Alley, you do a deal like the Thrive Zone, where you can have all the fans in one kind of protected area with a gigantic screen. You can do a lot with that. Put it on the side there with the Myriad Gardens on Robinson Street, Robinson Avenue there. So you can do so much with all that property, add some things and make it really, really, really nice. Now, the Thunder already have a practice facility. But like I said, what they did at Chase, that's where all of their headquarters is. Everything. Steve Ballmer's is the same way. His company and the Clippers headquarters, all of it is in one location. So you can take that, you can put the Thunder, you can build your nice offices, you can do nice facilities, you can do all of that in one location and make it absolutely fantastic, which is what I recommend the Thunder do. But we'll see how Clay Bennett and the other owners decide how they want to make it work. But anyway, that's kind of how I look at it. I think that you tear that down, you get 4 city blocks, you can do something absolutely amazing. You're across the street from all the hotels are right there. You're 1 block from the Omni, and which is why the Omni built it, because they wanted to be close to there. So you have the Omni, you have the Convention Center, you're 1 block away. Everything is fantastic. I think you do it. I don't know how you don't do it. But, of course, I'm not the city planners, and they're going to do what's best for the overall city. But as Drew and I talked about, like Mark said, you can go and you have that empty parking lot real soon. But anyway, had a little deal with the Wi-Fi there. Told you we got to get that done. But anyway, to me, you tear it down, and that's how you do it. You reset and you do it all over again. And you build something magnificent, and then hopefully the Thunder will continue to win. And Chet is the player that they hope he is, and we can get back to where we're competitive and get people to come to Oklahoma City. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank you guys for supporting the Unpopular Hour. The Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday, which will be tomorrow. Thursday will be Thunder Thursday for the After the Storm. And like I said, we're going to go into detail about Thunder salaries, why they're doing the things that they're doing, I think, what the possibilities are, get into more detail on why we need a new arena and what all the things they wanted to do with the old one compared to upgrading versus a new one. and what that entails, because I'm a firm believer and I want an NBA All-Star game here, so those people who've never experienced that can experience an NBA All-Star weekend, but you got to have the facilities and the attractiveness of a place for them to want to come bring that here. I saw something about having the NBA draft here. I don't know about all that. That would be a great thing. But, if you get a nice, beautiful facility, the NBA, like Drew said yesterday, my boy Drew Hampton of HuskerDrewPicks.com, that, that would be a great thing for Oklahoma City to have, and I would not mind doing that. So, that being said, I want everybody to try to stay cool because it's hot as it out there today. So, everybody be safe. Thanks for watching.